Hi guys! Welcome back for episode 4 of season 3 of Inspirations. So that's my podcast about knitting, mainly about knitting, and this episode will be only about knitting. But usually I'll also talk a lot about the yarn that I dye and that I sell in my Etsy shop. So if you're watching the podcast for the first time, thank you so much. So this is how it works. You have a weekly shop update on Monday afternoons, a newsletter sent out every Monday at 5 Paris time. I'm based in France, near Paris. And a podcast episode every Monday at 5 p.m. Paris time. And that's it, basically. I strongly encourage you to subscribe to the newsletter. You'll get a gift pattern when you subscribe, and you get all the info about Tricot Stitch and the shop updates in priority. So that's the best way really to keep in touch and to know what's cooking here. And if you are a returning viewer, thank you so much. I hope you're doing well. It's always a pleasure to take some time and sit a bit and talk and chat, and it's really a highlight of my week, so I'm so grateful to be able to be there with you once again. Thank you so much. So today is not quite as usual because there is no shop update associated to the podcast this week, because I was on a fiber festival in France, in Lyon, last weekend, and the past week has been like vacations for me. So I have not dyed any yarn. I took some time to just relax and chill a bit, because the past weeks have been so intense, hectic. I've been really how can I put it? I don't know. Yeah, I've been very serious about keeping up with my dyeing schedule, which was heavy. I was intent on not letting go even when I was feeling tired, but it was not physical exhaustion really. I was not feeling physically tired. It was here, all here. I was like craving for some me time and downtime and time just to do things very basic, like, you know, clean the house. I mean, it was, if at one point in your life you're craving time just to be cleaning the house, it's a strong sign that you need me time. I was craving like time with the kids, although I did have that. I did not compromise on that, but I was just, you know, looking forward to have some time with them without looking at my watch all the time and telling myself that I'm having like 30 minutes and then I'm back at work. So I wanted just to chill and to knit for the sheer pleasure of it, not because I was on a deadline. You know, just things that speak to my soul and not only to my ego, if that makes sense. Because, you know, I'm very ego driven in the sense that I always do a lot of things. I am very strong with planning and scheduling my work and keeping up with it. I'm not so strong with just letting go and relax and chill and do things just for pleasure. So, and I learned very recently that the first is being ego driven, and the second one is really your soul learning for things that, you know, doesn't have any things that don't have any planning attached to it or rational attached to it. So just things because you feel like it. So I was craving that kind of time. Just, you know, cook something nice, or just watch a series, or yeah, knit something that has no relation whatsoever with the shop, or yeah. So it was intense, but it was so rewarding to be at the Fiber Festival. Here's a look at my booth. I'm so proud because, you know, I don't have much occasion in my workshop to see the results of my work, because I'm always dyeing yarn, putting yarn in shop, updating the shop, dyeing yarn, updating the shop, and so on and so forth. So to just stop and take a few step backs and look at my work and see all the Almanac's colorway all lined up with the sample sock attached to the colorway, and then all the kits that I dyed for the Sholography mystery cowl, and then the things that I dyed for the Love Note kits and the Rocket Tea kits, and I mean the minis and the full skeins and all the other colorways, and it was deeply moving. I was very proud of my work, and I was, you know, just wow, yeah, it's so worth it, you know. It was hard, but it's so worth it. And I mean, the icing on the cake was that I got to meet a lot of you. So mainly my French audience, because there were not many international people at the festival, because I mean COVID crisis and so on. But this festival has an ambition to be really an international one. So I think that in the coming years, I might be able to see many of you watching me at this festival if traveling to fiber festivals is your thing. So it was lovely to meet people in real life, because obviously when I'm, you know, recording the podcast, I'm always talking to myself. And it was so nice just to meet people on the other side of the screen, the people for who I do that every week, people for who I do that in both languages every week. It was lovely to meet new people as well, and to be able to chat for a bit. I just wanted to hype people so much, but I didn't, because, you know, COVID. But yeah, it was worth it nonetheless. It was quite intimidating to be at that festival with such big names, other dyers, very successful dyers, very well known, and it was a bit intimidating. So I decided to really stay focused for the first day and a half of the festival, and then on the Sunday afternoon, close to the, I mean, it was close to closing time actually, I took the time to, you know, have a stroll and see all the booths, and yeah, and just, you know, take the time to relax and just enjoy as if I was client, and enjoying the fiber festival atmosphere, and yeah, and it was lovely. We had a lovely time amongst exposants on the Saturday evening. It was lovely, and it's always very interesting to be, you know, chatting with colleagues and sharing tips, and yeah, it's always good. It was very well organized, and it's called the Knit.Eat with a reason, because the eat part of the festival is just classy. I mean, it was yummy. Food, crazy good food. So, wow, if you have the occasion, you can come to the festival. I really strongly encourage you. My booth, as I told you, was small, because when I booked the festival 2 years ago, I was just starting, so I had no clue how my business would evolve. And it was, you know, as far as the festivals go, it's the biggest one I've made so far, so I didn't want to be too ambitious, and I decided to go with a smaller size, but I completely forgot about it. And 2 years later, after being cancelled like 2 or 3 times, and days being moved, I had completely, you know, blacked out that I had the smallest stand, smallest booth. So it was very small, but it was cozy. But yeah, some lovely people had to tour the festival 3 times before they find some, you know, available space to come to the booth and have a chat or just buy yarn. So it gave the impression to be crazy successful, with a lot of people queuing and everything. It was, I mean, it was heartwarming for me to see the booth with so many people around, but it was also a bit disappointing because for you the experience is not so good. So next year I'm going to double the size of the booth, so you will have much more space to come up and pet and see the yarn and just chat and you know, there was myself, there was my good friend Letitia, and my daughter, my lovely daughter was there as well. You know, she was manning the cash register, yeah, and it was lovely. We had a lovely time as well outside the festival. We had very good restaurants with friends and other, you know, vendors, and I mean, it was so good to just, you know, be outside again, see people again, and how it was great. It was great. So I have another festival coming up at the end of the month. It's Felletin, at Felletin. It's a very rural village, I think, in the middle of France. It's not the same at all with the Knit.Eat. It's very different. It's more rough, I'd say, I think. The Knit.Eat is urban, it's more sophisticated, and Felletin, les Journées Nationales de la Laine, are more close to the animals, the fiber. It's all about the fiber and the wool. So I'm really looking forward to that because I love that. I really love that part, the part that is really closer to the roots actually of the wool. I'm struggling with the words. Sorry about that, but I don't know if you catch my meaning, but it's much more close to how wool is made and how maybe closer to husbandry as well, with the sheep. And yeah, the whole process. You can visit a mill, a spinning mill, which is one of the last in France, which is really close by. It's a mill, it's a Fonty mill. You can, you know, there is a lot of fiber as well, not only yarn but fiber, and I'm really looking forward to it because I think that in the spirit it's closer to Rhinebeck than the Knit.Eat, which is closer to something like Vogue knitting. If I can broadly describe the two events, that would be like this. I think I've never been to Vogue knitting, but I've seen pictures. Okay. Okay, so that was for the Fiber Festival debrief. I'm very happy. When I came back, I drove back. It looks like a 5-hour drive to drive home. I was very, very tired because we left like at 6 in the morning to be here by midday because my daughter had to go to school in the afternoon. Yeah, I was very tired, and I was desperately craving for some time off. And the school for my youngest kid, Amelia, was closed on Tuesday. It was on strike. So I decided not to fight, to, you know, relax, enjoy. I missed my kids like crazy during the weekend, so I was kind of happy. I decided to, you know, just to enjoy the time off and the time I was offered with them. I spent the day with Amelia. On Wednesday she doesn't have school, Constant doesn't have either, so I had 2 days with Amelia, 1 day with Constant, and we just enjoyed and chilled and watched TV, and I knit and did some cross stitch, and it was so good. So I resumed really working, doing some work for Tricot Stitch on Wednesday afternoon, like twisting up skeins. I'm doing a lot of translations as well from English to French because, you know, French knitters want to take part to very fun things like Gnome's Mystery Cow or Charlography with Tricot, so they don't want to be left out, but sometimes, you know, English can be a barrier for them, it can be difficult and tough to knit when it's not your mother tongue. So I'm doing a lot of translations for them. So I have been working a lot on translations this week. I've not died. I've barely been in my workshop just to tidy up things a bit after the festival, and just twisting up some skein, watching a series on Netflix. I've not watched Squid Games yet, but I'm planning to this weekend because, I mean, it's all over the place. Everybody's talking about that, so I have to see what it is all about. And that's it basically. It's going to be a very relaxed week. And because of that, I decided to push back the shop update for the Manuela Chunky kits by 1 week because I'm going to dye them next week. Speaking of which, it's one of the projects I've been working on. I had the unfinished Magnolia Chunky cardigan on my booth, and it was great because some of my clients were able to, you know, try it on to see how it fits, and I was able to give them some advice on the amount of yarn they would be needing, because I'm using my DK and mohair and silk, but it's not the same gouge, and I've been completely reckless about this. I didn't need to swatch. I know, okay, I know, it's not good, it's bad. I was bad. So what I'm going to do, because it's a bit big, it's a bit too big, but I mean, it's a cardigan, so it doesn't really matter. But what I'm going to do is, you know, once it's done, I'm going to block it, and I'm going to measure the swatch, the gauge directly on the cardigan, just to be able to very precisely give advice on the amount of yarn needed. But I mean, I'm loving it. I think I will be, the plan is, because I've planned everything, the plan is to finish sleeve 1 by this weekend. Today is October 8th. And to knit sleeve 2 by the end of next week, and block it and measure and everything be ready for the 18th of October and the shop update. And I have a lot of things planned for you guys also this month. I'm very, very excited. I can't talk about it yet because, you know, it's mystery things and all, so I won't be telling a thing. But in the meantime, I'm going to show you what I worked on this week. So just prior to the festival, I finished this beauty. That's the October colorway for the Sock Knitter's Almanac. And this is the craziest sock to date that I've presented in the Almanac. This is the hat heel sock, but to me it will always be the evil eye sock, because that is an eye actually, okay? You can't really see it in all its glory because I don't have an actual feet mannequin, but yeah, it's absolutely gorgeous. I love that so much, and I'm so happy I was able to knit it in time. And for Halloween, this is the yarn on tweed. It's in the shop, guys, okay? I think tweed, I don't think there's tweed left, but it's on all the other bases. And I'm going to dye some more tweed. What else? I've been so bad. Although I have a list of projects on which I need to work on for Tricot Stitch, I decided to just ignore a lot and do some stuff that really make me smile. So I decided to add another work in progress, cross stitch work in progress, to my like 30 plus list of unfinished cross stitch project, okay? But yeah, the Frosted Pumpkin Stitchery just shared their Maple Lane first clue, so that's 6th clue. That's from October 5 to February 5, I think, 2022. That's the first clue, and this is a little barista, male barista. I don't know if that's a thing. Look at the tiny, tiny coffee machine. It's so good. I love it so much. So I'm taking the time to put a few stitches in that, It makes me so happy. And I decided to reactivate other seasonal projects that I started years ago and that I truly enjoy and I never stitch on. The first one is this one. It's the Autumn Simpler by the same girls, because I only stitch project by the Frosted Pumpkin Stitchery. This is the Halloween tone. Look at that. I love that so much. Actually, the colors in that kind of inspired my Halloween colorway as well. So, and you know, I have all the Needle Nanny coordinated because I love to be matchy-matchy. And this is the Almanac, Animal Almanac. That's the place for the October bubble, but I decided to move it because the most active, the frame that I prefer is this one, and that's my most active project. So if you remember, the Animal Almanac was living here, but I moved it to the circle and decided to put the Maple Lane stitch along here. So that's for the stitching. I'm going to put a few stitches after this episode because I'm still officially on vacation. Then I decided to sign up for another year of Studying String Mystery. Yes. This makes me insanely happy. I don't know why, because I'm not even knitting them. I mean, I started, you know, this is the Studying Mystery Society by Studying String Studio. I love them. And this is the third mystery cowl of the year. It's usually 3 or 4 mystery cowl in the year, plus one. And this is the one that is going to start on October 15, part of Baleta. The global theme for 2021 was cruises, which was completely up my alley. And I mean, it's iron weight. I think I can, you know, find some time to knit some super quick shawl with iron weight. So yeah, the colorway is Copperberry, the base is Noble Iron, and yeah, I love tweed yarn. You know that, no? I have lots of tweed yarn in the shop right now. That's the season completely. So it's always so well packaged. You get the yarn, you get the pattern, you get some stitch markers, some tea, some candies, some notions, a bookmark, and the color samples for January. And the theme is for January, so I subscribed for another year, is Ellis Island shawl. And I'm very happy because when I was in New York 5 years ago, I actually visited Ellis Island. And I mean, it was deeply moving, very interesting, deeply moving, hard, very hard. These are the colorways for Ellis Island. So you can choose one from this exclusive palette, one in the hugely extensive palette of colors. They have beautiful colors. You can choose, it's a 2-color shawl, you can choose 2 colors from here, 1 color from here and from their regular palette, or everything from their regular palette. And I'm very happy to be participating to that again. I can't explain why, because I typically, you know, I bought the kits for that, although I have lots of threads, lots of linen, lots of ongoing projects, but I don't know, I think it's being part of something that is currently happening, because the stitch along is going on strong right now for Maple Lane. The mystery card will be going on strong starting October 15th. And it's so nice just to take some time to, you know, knit with things that have no relation whatsoever with Tricot stitch. That's like my vacation. Although I do love to knit with my yarns as well, and I will show you why. I've started the Onipa shawl by Leila Raven with my Lueur colorway, because you know my podcast is called Inspirations, and that's not just me. I mean, I'm not boasting. I know that some of you get inspired by what I do, but it's going both ways, because I'm strongly inspired by you guys as well. And this is actually, it's a copycat of a project by one of my lovely customers who knitted this shawl out of this colorway, exactly same combination, and I was like, wow, I love that so much. Because it shows, actually that project shows the color variation inside this specific colorway, which is Lueur. It's the February colorway of the Sock Knitter's Almanac, and you can have just a glimpse with that tiny tail. Look at that. Look at all the colors. You have knee and fuchsia in there, you have fluorescent lemon, you have some blues, you have some yellows, you have some greens, some purple, you have a lot of things, and yet it's like it's a neutral. I really love that colorway. It might be my favorite so far of the Almanac. So I'm hugely enjoying this knit. I don't know what it will be done. When it will be done, it will definitely be a sample for the booth because I'm, you know, planning to do some more fiber festivals. I'm going to apply for one that's in January. I've already applied, it's already confirmed for one that's in April, Le Fil de la Manche, which is near Dieppe. It's in Normandy, and it's very close to the ferry. So if you are from the south of England, for example, you can come. You can come. Even if there's Brexit. I won't be saying vulgar things, but you know, Brexit sucks. Okay, the last thing I wanted to share with you guys are my colors for shalography. Because let's get real a minute. First glue jobs today. I have a ton of things to knit and to finish. Mainly the two most pressing projects are the Magnolia Chunky for the reasons I've shared before, but also my Advent Mystery Cow for you guys. That's part of the Advent calendar, you know. I have to finish this, so this is quite important, okay? Time is running out, so I can't just, you know, I can't, but I decided to knit in the evenings. I told you that already, I think. Or was it in the French version? Okay, if I'm repeating myself, I'm sorry, but my husband has night lessons. He's studying for a Master 2 in business management. And it's the third year, and he has lessons at night 3 or 4 times per week, which is a lot. And usually he comes home around 10-ish p.m. And I'm not an evening person. Usually I go to bed with the children actually, because I feel very tired very early in the evening. So by 9 I'm in bed, and that's really sometime when I could be knitting, but I can't because I'm tired. But I decided to wait for him until he comes home, because I mean 10:30 is not that late, okay? I'm an adult, so this is not late for an adult. So I decided to stay up a bit later and to take advantage of that time with the kids in bed, in theory, okay? Because yesterday they were finally in bed with nothing else to ask. It was almost 10. So, right. But I decided to wait up for him and then have a bit of knitting time for myself and make some progress on my project and knit on my shalography, as well as my gazillion other projects, okay? Everything is possible. I'm always optimistic or naive, I don't know, one or the other. Okay, so here are my colors. So the first one is Gloria. I already used that color for last year Mystery Cow. I love that color so much. It's a very deep and intense fuchsia with purple. I love that color. Second color is Heat Wave. It's a tender, very lovely purple with lovely speckles, but not too much because Steven said not too much. And then I have Hebrides which is a color that is difficult to describe. It's actually it's a mix between green and purple with speckles, so it creates a neutral but a very lively one. Then I have Copper Clouds, which I've been wanting to knit for some time now. It's a beautiful golden brown, nutmeg brown. And then I have Rose Ancienne, which is a very beautiful neutral as well, pink beige, with some speckles, but not too much, because, yeah, you shouldn't this year. Too much speckle, no. Here is my palette. I love it. So, yeah, I'm just waiting for clue 1 to drop now. Okay, today is October 8th, it's close to noon and no clue yet, French time, so I'm hoping it will drop before 2:30 because I'm actually have my friend Letitia coming over for a casting party, so we won't be casting nothing if the clue hasn't landed yet, okay, so fingers crossed. I mean, I will not be lacking any knitting project, but the fun part was to be casting on together. And yeah, and that's it for this week. So it's not your usual podcast episode because I'm not showing you any yarn that is available in the shop or anything, but nevertheless, I hope you enjoyed it. I enjoyed myself very much because I love to, you know, share about my projects and all the things that make me, you know, happy, and yeah, so I wish you a lovely week. I will see you next week, guys, to show you the colorways that I dyed for the Magnolia Chunky Kids. The Magnolia Chunky hopefully will be finished, blocked, and everything will be worked out as far as the gauge swatch is concerned, and the shop will be full of yarn. Oh, just a few additional words about the pre-orders. For the time being, pre-orders in the shop are closed because of fiber festivals and crazy dyeing schedule. They will reopen mid-November. In between there is this crazy dyeing schedule, and then there is the advent calendars I need to, you know, get going and get out of the door. So they should be finished by mid-November, and then I will resume dyeing yarn just for you. Everything that you wish, you just drop me an email, and mid-November I will be able to resume dyeing that for you guys. Okay? So I wish you a lovely week, and I'll see you next week.